and just send him the bill.
You did it.
Okay, I did it. Okay. Now, if it doesn't work, it's not my fault. Okay. So now, officially, welcome, welcome, welcome to the November gathering of the Charitable Roundtable. On here, we have Frank, who actually started the roundtable almost 10 years ago. Mimi was actually one of the first people that was in attendance when the Charitable Roundtable began. She joined the Charitable Roundtable officially at the second meeting I learned from her. And so we have two amazing people, but all of us are really amazing because of the work that we do. And so today, I would like everybody to, we're going to go around. Excuse me, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves, and then I'm going to introduce to you who our speaker is and get prepared for today's message because it is so, so very important. And so I will start with Kurt, who is to my left. And when you're finished introducing yourself, saying your name, where you're tuning in from, and if you are a nonprofit or a friend of the nonprofits, and share a little bit, take just like 2 minutes.
All right, everybody. I am Kurt Roskoff, live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as close to heaven on earth as you can get. And I am a podcaster, TV host, radio show host, podcaster. You can have all your nonprofits on the platforms. 20 years of experience knowing how the missions need to be known to more people. And I have developed it, designed it. We're in book distribution, so many things. I'm an ambassador Project iHeart, which is a veteran service organization combating veteran suicide by spreading hope to veterans. Back to you, Mary. Who's next?
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have Susan.
I'm Susan Laren. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm here to learn. Move on. That's all I have to say.
I'll tell you. So Susan has a brilliant idea for a nonprofit, and I think it's amazing. And I am so ready for her to just announce that she's turned it in, and we're actually starting because there are so many resources that are out there for her as the country is aging. People are getting older, and I believe that what she's wants to do, because I've heard it before. I know you guys haven't, but I have. Just know that it's just a moment at a time before you will hear that Susan has pulled the trigger and actually launched her nonprofit.
Susan has to sell their business first. That's in process.
See, so then it's coming. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so next we will have Loren.
Hi, I'm Lauren Williams, and I'm in Chicago. I'm with nonprofit PCs for People. And what we do is take retired computers from corporations, colleges, and government entities, and we turn them into home computers for low-income households. Something like 40% of low-income households today lack access to a computer or internet, and we have a solution for both of those. Last year, we distributed 57,000 refurbished computers, and the demand is amazingly huge still. Thanks.
Thank you. And next we'll have Phil.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Phil Fell with International Friendships right here out of Columbus, Ohio. Started here 79 or in 1979, 45 years ago, and now branched out to 52 locations in 15 states and 3 countries. What we do is we make the world feel at home. We welcome international students and try to connect them with a local Christian friend who can serve, mentor, guide, and coach them in whatever their physical, mental, spiritual needs are while they're studying abroad. It's a great way to make a friend and just pay it forward, but you might end up making a friend for life. So give me a call, let me connect, and we'd love to help you connect with a way to serve an international student, make the world feel at home.
Thank you, Phil. Next we'll have Mimi.
Okay. My name is Dorothy Tadessa, nickname Mimi. I'm a founder and president of CG Women's Empowerment. We create economic self-sufficiency for women and children in rural Oromia, part of Ethiopia. So we are lifting up communities and create transformation. So by giving a cow, milking cows to the very poor woman. So that's how we're empowering women and children. So I'm on the process of sharing my story, writing a book. I'm almost done. Here I have an image posting here. That's who I am, and just pray for me, and let us keep on creating the impact with those people who have the big hurt. That's who I am.
Thank you, Mimi. Well, I will tell you. So I had the chance to sit down with Mimi. I've known Mimi for years, but I never really had that in-depth, let me get to know you story moment. And I sat down with her, and oh my God, when I left her, I was crying because I had no idea how incredible a person, her history, her background, where she's been from and what she's doing was. I didn't know. Now I know. And so I'm saying to you, if you are in Columbus, please schedule a time to sit down and talk to Mimi. If you are not in Columbus, please schedule a time to do a Zoom with Mimi. I promise you, when you have an understanding of what she's doing, it will totally change the way that you think about making an impact. It is just so amazing. And ask her about her grandfather. Remember that. So, okay, next we will have Crystal.
Hello, I'm Crystal. I'm from Canton. I'm a friend of nonprofits. So I have a business consultancy, Crystal Clear Solutions, and I help organizations, nonprofit and for-profit, with their process improvements. And one of the things that I'm particularly focusing on is the implementation of artificial intelligence in ways that make the most sense for you and your clients.
Thank you, Crystal. So if you were not here last month, here's our plug for our YouTube channel. So we have a YouTube channel. Crystal was a speaker, and oh my God, when the information that she shared about AI and the benefits of it, oh, I mean, I'm like, we need to have her back because there's so much more. So she too is someone definitely get to know. So next we'll have Alan. Hey, Alan.
Hey, Mary, thank you so much for having me. My name is Alan out of Southern California, and I specialize in working with business owners, whether they're affiliate marketers or veterans. I'm a veteran myself, or nonprofits. I'm the friend of the roundtable. It's just been an honor and privilege to be here. Community is the essence of business, and that's what I love doing. I've just recently been part of a new community that I would love to invite everyone else to support your nonprofits. Happy Veterans Day and happy holidays early to each and one of you. Thank you, Mary, for allowing me to be a part of your vision.
Thank you, Alan. Yes, he's from Southern California. It never rains in Southern California. So we have one more person that's coming in. So before I introduce our speaker, let's let Miss Emily come all the way on. See, she got. Hi, Emily.
Everybody. Hi, everybody.
Introduce yourself, your name, where you're tuning in from, and what your business is. Are you a friend of the nonprofit, or are you a nonprofit person?
I'm a nonprofit. I'm a virtual assistant, podcast assistant, scheduler here in Wisconsin. Everybody's looking for any virtual assistant help or be on one of our shows or like a virtual or a booth, to let me know. I've been working with Kurt for the last little bit here. So it's just a little bit about me.
Wonderful. Is this your first time here?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna have to remember your name. Well, thank you for being here. The next person that I get the privilege of introducing is our speaker of the hour. So this woman has came on the scene on Storm. I've known her for quite some time. And then it was like, I need to have a conversation with her. And the more that I got to know her, the more that I was like, she is truly an incredible woman. She's an incredible business person, and she is an incredible wellness coach. And so I was like, this is someone who had something. So when I was thinking about who to have as a speaker for this month, and it being Thanksgiving, and we know we celebrate what we're thankful for in family, I had a conversation. It's like, I know the perfect person that can share information from the nonprofit perspective that can help us when it comes to gratitude, appreciation, and giving thanks. And so with no further ado, I'm going to present to some and introduce the others, Miss Elba Colon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mary, I'm more interested to know more about what you're going to say after this event. So thank you all for having me here. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to see Mimi. I know Mimi too for quite a while. Matter of fact, I think you could go into my YouTube channel and you can actually see her interview unless you go to her Facebook group. I think she still has it there too. An interview that I did with her about, I don't know, maybe about, I know it's before the pandemic, so it has to be at least 5, 6 years ago. And her story is incredible. It has thousands of views, and it was a very simple interview at her house. And the reason I'm bringing this story up about her and gratitude and the work that she's doing is, and why I'm talking about this subject, it's because an interview like that I did with Doretti founded the company that I have today, which is I'm the founder of Awaken to Gratitude. I started this gratitude journey back in 2011. And when I said this journey, because when we think about gratitude and how grateful one is, you'll think about, oh, I've been grateful my whole life. You know, my mom taught me how to be grateful. My grandpa taught me how to be grateful. And that's great and all. However, what I'm referring to about gratitude is how intentional are you in unfolding the magic and power of gratitude. So, for example, me in my case, you know, having a faith-based background, of course, I've always been grateful, but to use it as a tool, as a resource in my life that literally caused the transformation of my own personal health, of my own personal well-being. I think somebody here, or maybe it was actually somebody else I was talking to in regards to my own personal mental health. Because back in 2011, if you ever seen the movie called Eat, Pray, Love, played by Julia Roberts, if you look at that movie, it's really popular among women. That was my life. That was who I was, just miserable. And just in my despair, I never gone to a doctor to find out like why was I depressed? But the way depression came over me was like this dark cloud, like the Charlie Brown little cartoon where the little boy had that little bugs following him, that cloud. That was literally what I was experiencing. And I would remember moments in between those cloudy moments where it was nice and bright, but wouldn't last no more, maybe 10 to maybe 21, 10, 7 to 10 days the most, 10 to 15 days. And I remember when I started to start to notice and say, you know, the moment when I first noticed that cloud coming over and I'm in my shower, you know, just thinking about noticing the cloud coming over and I was crying like, Lord, you know how you're in the shower and you're banging on that concrete tile. Lord, when is this stop? Why now? Why does this have to happen? I'm just now getting some joy. Why let this happen? So, you know, that led to watching the movie and then looking up on that movie. I found a group of women on YouTube doing a panel, and there was this one lady, maybe 2 minutes or less. She's talked about gratitude. And I tried a lot of things: Bible study, prayer, personal self development, went to business conferences, invested thousands of dollars. I think the only real thing I didn't do was like go see a doctor, but you know, take supplements, change my just everything besides going to a doctor. And and I was I heard that woman say about gratitude journaling, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that. And I did. I tried. And that first week when I started writing, I wrote, all this, things. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And it was hard. Like if you really intentionally sit there and write, it's easy. But by the fourth day, it's like, okay, what else can I be grateful for? I've already been grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful, blah, 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 blah. And it becomes mundane and boring. And then you don't know what else to be grateful for. But there's so much more to being grateful. And so that's why I'm here to bring some awareness on how could you have more awareness to to show appreciation to your donors and volunteers? How much more can you add value to your donors and volunteers for your mission, for your nonprofit? Because here's your nonprofit and here's your mission, and yet here's your donors and here's your volunteers. Because if you don't have them, you have nothing. I'm going to be point blank. You can have all the mission you want, all the vision you want. You can have all you want. But if you don't have your donors and volunteers to fund this, what do you have? Nothing. Just a mission, a vision, a wish. So you want to show value to your donors and volunteers, and show how much you appreciate them, because with the law of attraction, with gratitude, like attracts like. And so anytime you show appreciation to your folks, when you add value, they want to give back more, because the value that increases in them, it zooms out of them, and it's like, I want to give, I want to fund. You want to invoke the emotion of I want. What do you want for them to want? You want them to want to give to you, because they know in that want and fulfilling that want, whatever service you're providing will make them feel good. Whatever they believe about your mission makes them feel good. And people are wanting to feel good. But how do you activate that? Well, showing appreciation, being thankful, being grateful. And sometimes we show we're grateful, and you're probably sitting there, but I am, Elba. Like, what more can I do? So that's why I'm here. Sometimes it could be simply just your attitude. How you showing up? What is the tone you're conveying? What are you delivering in your speech? I mean, that could be that could be just enough to make that shift. So that's what I'm here for. So going back to my story in regards to gratitude, I started the gratitude journaling, and I started to notice little small things, little snippet things. Like I'm realizing that all along I always had it all. So for example, I'll never forget this one thing. When I used to work at the state of Ohio as an auditor for the unemployment office, didn't have any money. Didn't have money, cash, because back in the day we used cash. Didn't have any cash with me to go to the vending machine to get something to eat. And I didn't have the time to go out and get something to eat. And then, long and behold, in the office, someone said, Albert, come over here. There's a potluck. Get something to eat. And I'm like, okay. And I knew it had to be the gratitude I was already experiencing prior to this, because that's how good your source is. Whoever your source is, whatever your energy source that might be, that's how good it is. And it acknowledges you to bring forth back to you more than what you have already think. So just so you know a little bit about my background, today I'm happy to say that I am a board member of a nonprofit organization here called Recovery Cafe Cup of Purpose. And it means a lot to me because this woman who started this nonprofit just this year, but she had this vision 10 years ago. Back during the pandemic, she was doing interviews called Cup of Purpose, interviewing people and posting them online. And she did my interview, and I was impressed by her vision, mission, and what she wanted to create. And I watched her. I watched her. And then she all of a sudden manifested this nonprofit organization. Recovery Cafe is known nationwide. It has 65 um, recovery cafe throughout the nation. She's the first one here in Ohio. I think they have about 10, 15,000 members in it. And its intent and purposes is to help to create a safe space with love, acceptance for everyone who's recovering from something. You know, we're here in Columbus, Ohio, in the West Side, and the majority of the folks here do struggle with drug addiction and mental illness, and just maybe even loneliness. And they come here and come together and talk it out with a cup of coffee. And one of those members is my father. My father lives alone. He's a veteran, and I do my best to take care of him. And this part really touches my heart. He found a community where he can share his recovery from alcoholism during back in his days, in his younger years, and where he is today. So it means a lot to me in my heart. So with that being said, I'm going to share my experiences as a board member with you all and tell you, I get you. I hear you. So I'm going to bring up my slide if you can give me permission.
You have permission.
Okay, super. Okay, where we go. And how do I bring it up? Okay. Can you guys see it?
No.
No.
So when you go to share screen, you have to click the one that you want to share.
Gotcha. All righty.
There you go.
Awesome. And then I'm going to shrink this and put this at percent. Okay, so here we are, Awaken to Gratitude. So I am the founder of Awaken to Gratitude, and Mimi was one of those people that I hate interviewing. One of the things I learned about interviewing folks when it comes to gratitude is that you'll be surprised what gratitude means to people. You'll be surprised that gratitude is a spectrum. And in that spectrum, there's so many approach and meanings to gratitude. So one of the things that I'm going to ask you all is to use the chat, and I'm going to have you to engage so that you can experience of what I've experienced about gratitude. So let's start off with in your chat, write down, what does gratitude mean to you? If you can do that, that will be super awesome. What does gratitude mean to you? I have some folks to write down. Appreciation, thank you. What else? Yeah, can I have a couple more people tell me, what does gratitude mean to you? A feeling of appreciation and a way of expressing it. Thank you, Mary and Lauren. Any more? Being grateful, Mimi. Yes, thank you. Awareness of the small stuff, a positive response to God, goodness, and grace. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Look at that. So today we're going to talk about the gratitude effect, building lasting relationships. So learning objectives. So these are the objectives we're going to talk about today. And that is 3. Explore the power of gratitude to strengthen relationships. Feel inspired to apply gratitude in practices for deeper connections and greater impact. And 3, learn how gratitude can be transformative tool in relationship building. So what is gratitude? So gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's an emotional expression of appreciation, and it fosters stronger relationships, enhances well-being, and create a ripple effect of positive energy. And so, addition to all that, what you shared already, gratitude is just more, it's an expression. So when it says more than just saying thank you, what you're doing is, let me tell you something, because somebody brought up here the word God, which is beautiful. What I want to say to you is that when you look up the word gratitude in Webster Dictionary, it means, it, well, thank you. When you translate thank you to Spanish, it means gracias. And so when you translate gracia, the word gracia, from thank you in English, but then you translate gracia back to that Spanish, and then you translate it back to English, it's grace. So that means for every time you tell someone thank you, you're offering them grace. When someone tells you thank you, they're offering you grace. And so when you have grace, what does that do for you? It expands and gives you that space to see more possibilities. Those possibilities gives you more solutions. Those possibilities can give you more avenues, more relationship, more of abundance of anything that your heart's desire. Now you got to be careful about the abundance. It could be a negative abundance, or you can have positive abundance. So that you want to be gracious, so that that expansion that you create with grace, it is positive. So it's an emotional expression of appreciation. And in that grace, in that space, that's when someone feels the value. See, you helping someone feel their value. See, what you're doing in a nonprofit organization is helping people to see their own worth in whatever it is that you're bringing to them. So you're needing donors and volunteers to fund your nonprofit to help these people who are in challenging situations to feel their worth and value. So by you showing your appreciation to your donors and volunteers, you're simultaneously not only helping those folks in the nonprofit, who's needing your services, feel their worth, but you're also helping your donors and volunteers feel their worth, their value. So my background today is a life coach. I went from state employee, retired, to a life coach. And my job as a life coach is to help everyone to see their value. Because when people see their value, there's confidence. So when you have confidence, I want you to tell me in the chat, what can you do when you feel confidence? Tell me in the chat, when you are confident, what does that allow you to be or do? For example, impact the community. What else? Be more productive. Allows me to be fearless. Be more effective. Yes. So that's what you're offering when you are showing appreciation to your donors and volunteers. It thinks outside the box, generates trust and bonus, connect better to what I'm doing, who I am with, expand your circle with purpose, meaningful actions that lead to growth and success. Yes. All of that from being grateful. I hope your heart is fluttering as mine is to want to run out there and go and say, okay, who can I say thank you to? Because you know what? When you're asking, when you make that ask, when you're out there talking to on stage or talking to Toastmaster or you're talking to a corporate office, when you evoke in them confidence, trust, they'll want to give to more to you, to your cause. Gratitude versus recognition. While recognition celebrates achievements, gratitude acknowledges the effort, care, and passion behind those actions. So it's one thing to be recognized what you achieve, but how many times people really acknowledge the effort, like the back end? Nobody's seen the for some of you guys that weren't here earlier, you guys didn't hear what Mary was telling us, all the things she has to do to be who she is today. This bright light who attracts joy, gives out joy and receive back more joy. But there's a lot of work behind the scenes. So a lot of you are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So I'm grateful. I want to tell you something. When I went and when I went to the polls, they wanted to pass some kind of tax levy for something for school or something. I'm like, nope, that's what nonprofit for. We have more than enough nonprofit organization. They can send the money to them. And I said, no.
Elva.
So, yes. Uh-huh.
So I want you, and you talking about the difference between recognition and gratitude. Just literally last month, for the first time in 18 years. So I've been running COC for 18 years, bringing together resources to help active treatment cancer patients pay their bills while they're in need. And for the first time, literally, I was planning on going to a comedy show just take a break. And they ended up recognizing me for the work that I put in. And I mean, when I say I broke down crying, I cry all the time, but it was a different type of cry because they weren't recognizing me for the work that I do because of COC and the impact that we make and all that stuff. They were recognizing me for the sacrifice that I've made for still running the organization while I was yet battling cancer and doing it. They were actually showing gratitude, appreciation for the behind the scenes stuff. And that had never happened before in 18 years. And I was like, oh my God, how many other nonprofit leaders or people that work in nonprofits have put in so much work, and they get the certificates for making an impact in the community, but they don't get the certificate or their flowers, so to say, for the sacrifice that they made. Just wanted to share that.
That's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that story because look at what it says here. True gratitude foster a personal connection by making individual feel valued for more than just their contribution. So how much value did that give you? Mary, tell us.
Considering I always been like, I'm about to retire. I'm going to retire. And part of the reason, burnout, nonprofit burnout can literally come from a lack of gratitude for what the person is doing. Yeah, we get recognition for the work done, but what about what the person is doing? So
Yes, exactly.
it made me feel on a whole nother level. I'm like, I still have the flowers that they gave me. And it's like, wow, that out of all the acknowledgments that I've gotten throughout the years, this one meant so much more because it wasn't because of what I've done, but because of who I am.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent. And that's such a like perfect story right there because think about your volunteers who comes and show up every week or every month, who give over and over and over. You don't know how much more time you have left with them before they reach their burnout. And if they reach their burnout, guess what you got to do? Find another volunteer that is just as good or better than that person that you can count on. That's the value of gratitude right there. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. The benefit of gratitude impacts on well-being, which we just heard Miss Mary talk about. This is my favorite here, ripple effect of gratitude. That's what we're talking about, creating a gratitude ripple effect and strengthening bonds with volunteers, creating ways. So strengthening bonds with volunteers. So here are some creative ways to express gratitude. Handwritten thank you notes, volunteer spotlights and newsletter, annual appreciation events. And listen, I know you guys are busy. I'm busy too. Did I tell y'all I'm a chapter leader of Hilliard, Ohio? Me and Mary, we were out networking last night, and Mary said, "Are you ready for tomorrow?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, what? No, she said, "Are you ready for tomorrow?" I'm like, "What? I got so much going on tomorrow." She said, "The round table." I'm like, oh, stop, oh. And she gave me the motherly look, and I'm like, "No, I promise you, I had my VA, Kurt. You mentioned VA. I did have my VA do this slide for me." And so I say all that to say is if you guys are really busy, go get a VA and have them write the written notes, thank you notes, because nobody knows your handwriting. Who writes today anyway, really? So have somebody pay your granddaughter, pay your high school kid, get one of the kids, pay them $20 and have them write thank you notes for you. Volunteer spotlight newsletters. Have someone do that. You could do a spotlight in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you use any of that. Send them a email, whatever. Don't make it harder than it is. Annual appreciation events. I know we're having one in ours for next month. So this month or next month, it's a good time to have an appreciation event. Don't make it so hard. Invite them into your home if you don't have a whole lot of people. Have a virtual event. But the point is convey the message of gratitude for what they have given to you in return. This just came to me as I said this out loud. If you do not show any appreciation of gratitude for your volunteers greater than what you've been expecting doing, if this brings any conviction, if you're thinking right now at your desk about this, then you are becoming a taker. You're not. So gratitude is so critical because if you're not showing appreciation through your gratitudeness, through your gratefulness, then you're becoming a taker. And as a taker, your mission will not go as far as you envision it to go. Your mission will not go as far as you envision your nonprofit to go. So let that be a warning to you all. I know I'm pretty hard. I'm Latina from Puerto Rican, New York City. I don't mean to be hard, but I want this to really resonate in your hearts that gratitude wants to wants to bless you all. It wants to give more. It's just gratitude as an entity is waiting for its acknowledgement. And the way you acknowledge goodness, the way you acknowledge your source and energy is through showing appreciation for others, through some form of expression, whatever that looks like to you. As simple, one of the things I love as a woman when I walk into a gas station is when a man opens the door for me so I can walk in. That brings and I always say thank you. I appreciate that. Do you know when I see little kids at Kroger's and they're sitting in their car and I see a little baby and I smile and they smile back? And the mother looks over at me and the baby, it brings a smile to the mother. And I can see that sense of peace that comes right at that small moment. When you see your volunteers sitting at the desk doing the check-ins as they walk in and you do the dishes for her and she's telling you don't have to, and you say, no, this is okay. This is easy. This is therapy for me. Let me do the dishes for you. Because that's what happened this Tuesday. The lady who comes every week, Tuesday and Thursday, as a volunteer, was sitting at the front desk doing her thing. And there was a pile of dishes. And I'm like, I could do this. And she's like, no, you don't have to know, I got this. So what does it look like to show appreciation to your donors and volunteers? Impact of gratitude and well-being. Grateful people are not only happier, but more engaged in their work and communities. In your chat, do you want more engagement in your community? I know that brings joy when people walk through the door. I know that brings a smile. Even $1 will make a difference because for every dollar that you receive, someone have heard your mission. Someone heard your heart. Someone saw you. Someone heard your voice. And so when you show appreciation, of course, you're conveying a message of appreciation. And those people want to give you more. There are people who are literally looking to where they can invest their dollars to donate because they know in the long run it's a benefit for them too, especially business owners, to write off taxes. And just being real with you. Not only it makes them feel good and not only support their cause, maybe it's a memory to when they went through something or when they're lost a parent or something, you don't know. And it helps them in their pockets too. And if it helps them in their pockets, makes them help them to give more back to you. It goes around. It's just goes around. What goes around comes around. The ripple effect of gratitude. When you make someone feel appreciated, they in turn pass that feeling on to others. That's the gratitude ripple effect. Imagine you telling someone thank you and they feel good. It's only natural that they will go and tell someone thank you and have that person feel good. And that person tells, it just goes on and on. And that's how that ripple effect literally transforms our world. It transforms your relationships. It transforms your donors. It transforms your volunteers. Strengthening bonds with volunteers. Here are some creative ways to express gratitude. Again, handwritten thank you notes, volunteer spotlight newsletter, annual appreciation events. Not too long ago, a month ago, I was invited to go in Gahanna to this banquet, 25th anniversary, and it was something about my own blanket, something about my own blanket. It's about making handmade blankets real easy and giving it to the foster kids. And I went to that, and wow, the appreciation they showed to their volunteers. And then in not even, I think not even 10 minutes after showing appreciation and thankfulness, I think within 10 minutes, they did some kind of, what do you call that thing? They had auctions. Yeah, they were doing auction and they were bidding. In minutes, they raised $10,000 plus. And I bet if they had more, they would, if they had said, let's raise $20,000, they would have given $20,000. But in minutes, they raised $10,000. That's the power of gratitude. How gratitude influences donor relationships. Gratitude reminds them that their contribution makes a difference. You want to let imagine each person individually feel special for the contribution they made. If you have children, 3, 4 children, children love to feel special by their parents or grandparents and say, look, mama, look, grandma, look what I did, look what I did. And you have 3 of them running all at the same time. And you say, oh, good job. Thank you for this. I appreciate this. And they feel good. Well, that's how they feel. That's how they feel. Let me tell you something. Part of my training as a life coach, as an emotional intelligence coach, I put myself for 18 months at a daycare center taking care of 2-year-olds to study human behavior. And one of the things I noticed about 2-year-olds is that we are 2-year-olds, adult 2-year-olds, because I saw I saw how it was connected. And so when you bring in that appreciation into, you tap into their hearts with appreciation, it brings out that joy that feels like a 2-year-old just happy. And that happiness is what is contagious. And that thing that's contagious is what people want to feel and will want to donate more to feel that again, 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 and again. You want your volunteers to come back again, again, and again. Creative ways to thank donors, personalized thank you videos. That's a popular thing in social media. You could go into LinkedIn. You could go to LinkedIn and do video thank yous today. I mean, this whole month to your donors. You can go to their LinkedIn or Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I personally want to say thank you. And I want to tell you, I remember this moment. I remember this conversation. I remember you was wearing this red top. I remember what you said to that person. I remember when you said you gave your last dollar. I remember. You can go into the social media and say that, or send a personal video. You can say that. Inviting top donors to an exclusive behind the scene tour or insider event. That's valuable because when you say exclusive and not inclusive, that makes them feel special. That feels special. It's like bringing someone into your home. So when you bring someone into your home, not nowadays, it's not like back in the day, we used to come into people's homes like it was nothing. Nowadays, we don't even do that because we got virtual Zoom now. But now uh, with your nonprofit, you can bring them behind the scenes. Because when you bring them behind the scenes, you're inviting them to the core of your heart, of your mission, and what that means to you. Creating a wall of gratitude where you recognize donors in newsletters, website, or physical spaces. Let me tell you, this right here, wall of gratitude, is huge. So if you guys are into, well, maybe Kurt knows this. Kurt, do you know Lewis Howes podcast? Have you ever heard of Lewis Howes? He's known for School of Greatness. Have you heard of? Okay, so he's into personal development, very popular uh, podcaster. He has big, great names that kind of to his podcast. I think he gets like 20 downloads, 20 million a month at least. And now he's moving to the Spanish industry because his fiance is from Mexico. So he tapped into another group of millions there too now. But the point I want to bring to you is this man is very popular, um, for his niche, that people literally will travel all around the world to come to see his Summer Greatness event here in Columbus, Ohio, little Ohio. Ukraine, well, not Ukraine, but they'll come from Europe, Africa, Greece, Italy, Colombia, Brazil, all over the United States, Canada, to little Columbus, Ohio. Last year, you had LA, but for years it was Columbus, Ohio. And one of the things he would do, and this is the part I want to get to you guys, is he would have this thing, this wall, and it was written love. And anybody and everybody that came would sign their name and an intention. And he has had this event now for 6 years. And it is the most popular thing to have. Because you know what that does? And this is what you want to create in your nonprofit organization. You want to create community. Community grows community. Community impacts community. And so creating something like a wall of gratitude where you recognize donors in your newsletters, website, Facebook group pages, your personal Facebook, your inner social media, your WhatsApp, you highlight them, you post them. What you do is you are causing an attraction to people to say, wow, that's so cool. And they feel the love. And what that does for you is people want to partake in the community that you're creating. They want to partake the space that you are creating because what you're creating for your donors is a platform. So one of the things when I was approached to become a board member, I never been had asked about being a board member. And I said, well, what are the benefits? What do I get in return? What's in it for me? She said, well, it looks good on your resume. That's why most people sign up. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But as I'm saying this out loud to you, of course it will uh, look good in my resume, and it looks good in your donor's resume. But what it does for you as the nonprofit is you're creating a platform for your donors. It's not just a resume. You're creating a platform. That's the value of the nonprofit organization because in return, not only fulfilling their desire to support you, but what are you creating for them to partake? You're creating a platform to be seen and to be heard. When people are seen or heard or both, they feel the value. They feel the worth. That's why people yell and scream because it might look to us they're angry, but they're just desperately want to be heard. They desperately just want to be seen. And so creating a wall of gratitude helps people to be seen and you bring value into their lives. And of course, they want to give back more.
Elba.
Yes. Am
So
I
I just
running out of time?
I just put
Oh,
in
sorry.
no, I just put in the chat about so we and our main fundraising campaign is called Hairstyles and Beauty for Hope. And I travel 2 to 3 weekends every month somewhere in the United States to raise money. And we have a sheet of paper that after a person makes a donation, they put their name on the sheet of paper. We take a photo of it and we put it on our website. And so just gave the page and we put it up there so people can see which shows that we've attended, which ones, the people that raise money. And there's so many people that are thankful because we leave it up for an entire year. So the company that we did in the third week of January 2024 has already let us know they want us to come back in 2025. So that way they can see if even more people will make a donation compared to who did in 2024. And then the that made the donations themselves, they've taken pictures of the banner. They tag us in there and it helps keep the momentum going and it increases it. So I put it's the second one, not the first link. But if we're as an example of having a wall of greatness, our thing is everybody, it got to the point where by the end of an event, we're just letting people know, you want your name on there too, like everybody else. Come on and make a donation. It's the easiest thing ever. And then we let them know it's going to be up for an entire year and you can go to it and you can share it and you can then let people that know that you supported the cancer organization and you can invite them to come and do the same thing. So it helps expand our base and our way in which we do that. And so everybody that's on there for this year, they all will be there next year, and all of them were there last year. So it helps keep the relationship going.
That is so good because Mary, look what the next slide says. It says, a culture of gratitude strengthens relationships and motivates continued giving. Donor retention is more cost effective than acquisition. Look at that. Thank you for that perfect. Because what I given you was for-profit business, but she just gave you a nonprofit experience there. Story. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go to the next slide because she just shared her story was sufficient. Group activity, gratitude mapping. Take out a pen and paper. And I want you right now, take out a pen and paper. And I want you to list 3 volunteers and 3 donors you want to show appreciation to. And write down one specific thing you can do this week to show gratitude. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down here like 2 minutes so you guys can do that.
I was already ahead of the game. I love it. I've got 12 people that literally, I'm like, I need to do an extra kind of thank you for them. Actually, I can say 13.
One more minute. We're almost, you can start wrapping up. So write down one specific thing you can do this week. Can you put it on the chat, and this will help your fellow nonprofit leader here with some additional ideas. So if you could write down on the chat what one specific thing you can do to show gratitude. And that way, if there's an idea here that could help your fellow mate. Any ideas besides writing a thank you note? Customized certificates. Wow, that's huge. Phil said here, start with a personalized thank you card, then schedule a meeting to thank them, not to ask them for more. Wow, Phil, that's great. Crystal, sincere compliment. Yes. What else? That went above beyond what I was thinking, but go ahead.
So
Any
I
more
said
ideas?
customized certificate because I'm thinking about my one campaign, and I'm actually going to be with the people that created the company this weekend on Sunday. And so I'm like, you know what? I can give them both a customized certificate in front of their audience and just in like really for real say thank you and give them a hug.
Yep. Look what Lauren said here. Post a thank you on LinkedIn to a university that recently made the decision to contribute hundreds of decommissioned computers to PCs for people. That's huge on LinkedIn. What a great idea. Find a local send out card rep. I know a few. Yes, Alan.
I'm a send
I
out
thought
card
about
rep.
that. Are you really, Mary? I need to get with you. I didn't know that.
What is that? What is a send out card rep?
It makes it so you can send out custom cards. It makes it much easier than having to go to the store and buy cards.
Yeah. Wow, those are great ideas. Thank you, everyone. Big. Closing remarks. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you could put, so my closing remarks is this. I'm going to stop sharing. If you could take a moment and write in your chat your key takeaway from this experience, from this fiery Latina. What's your key takeaway? Mary, how much time do I have left? So I can make sure I'm on time. Okay. What are your key takeaways? Please help me and tell me what are your key takeaways.
So it's almost quarter till, so we're good. We're good.
Okay. Don't assume that people will stick with you and they need you to express your wow. Wow, that's big. Kurt, thank you. It is worthwhile brainstorming with my team how we could show more gratitude during this time. Yes. Phil, thank you. I learned about lots and lots of expression gratitude. Yes, Susan, thank you. Crystal, practicing gratitude can transform your perspective and improve your overall well-being. Yes. Lauren, be creative with gratitude. Yeah, absolutely. Get thanks more than we get. Yes. Alan, live your truth, be in gratitude. How many lives you impact? How many lives you impact? Mm-hmm. You know, what I hear from all of this, hearing you all speak or share, when you look at the common theme of what's being said here, It's boils down to being intentional. So my hope for you all that not only there's no doubt as human beings, you're naturally aware of your own appreciation. My hope for you that you also, not addition to what you have taken away, that these takeaways that you're taking with, that you'll become intentional with it and use it to your advantage, leverage it to your advantage to impact the community that you want to impact. And also, not only impact those that you want to impact through your nonprofit organization, but also impact the donors and volunteers because they really do want to make a difference. They need to know that they are making a difference. So don't burn them out. Ignite them, put wood in their fire, and you can do that through gratitude. So my name is Elba Colon, the founder of Awaken the Gratitude. I am a speaker, facilitator, and a life coach, wellness coach. And my whole mission and purpose is to transform lives from insecurities to confidence through the power and magic of gratitude, to bring out the light, to ignite the light in everyone, to make one light and just heal and transform our planet, harmonize it as one big community. So this is Elba, and I'm complete.
Thank you so much, Elba. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
One thing that as you were giving your closing remark, I thought that how many times have we intentionally gone above our normal thank you for our board members? You know, it's like, thank you, but then thank you. It's kind of like there's probably another level of thank you that is like there's thank you, and then there's thank you. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand what I mean, but I'm thinking about even my own board members. And I have board members that are across the country. And so, they have to adjust their schedules in order to be on board meetings and, do the different things that they do. And so saying thank you, thank you guys. I'm glad that you guys came out for the board meeting. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's one thing. But then there's another level that, maybe I send them individually a thank you on social media, but then maybe I, write them a card, there's a handwritten card to say thank you that for the last however many years you put up with the fact that I'd be stubborn and, and really make it personal so that they understand. So those of us that are in the nonprofit space, especially those of us with our board members, just going another level of thank you for our board members. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Again, thank you, Elba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that this was recorded. There are so many people that I'm so sorry that we're not here, but thank God it was recorded and will be on our YouTube channel. It is 12:47, so do want to let you know about next month. So I have it up. Next month, December the 13th, is going to be our next Charitable Roundtable gathering. And the topic is deploying mission, purpose, and passion to achieve new heights for your nonprofit. That's going to be a good one. And this is perfect leading into it. So deploying mission, purpose, and passion to achieve. And one of those things that should be included in our desire is to show gratitude to our donors, our volunteers, and, and even people that entrust us to serve them. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to include before we say farewell for this month?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very appropriate. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Very well. To those of you that are veterans, I am a veteran as well as a surviving spouse of a deceased active duty Army soldier. Happy Veterans Day on Monday. enjoy the time. If you know somebody that is a veteran, please reach out to them and tell them thank you for their service.
Thank you
Anyone
for your
else?
service, Mary. Thank you for your service. I'm a U.S. Army 13 Bravo. And to all the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Guards, Coast Guards, and teaching your families and their spouses, we honor and thank you.
Thank you as well.
Does that include Army brats? Because I kind of served. I went to 5 high schools in 2 countries and 4 cities. Do we count?
No.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I don't
let
claim
me tell
it.
you, when I was in first grade in Stuttgart, Germany, this is in the 70s, so the Vietnam War was still fresh in our minds. And so remember our age group, our fathers watched a lot of World War II movies. I knew I was Europe, but I couldn't comprehend like where. And I remember my dad would go to what they call field. We call it, oh, dad went to the field, which means they're playing war. And I didn't understand that was a game. And I used to pray in under the moonlight and pray for my dad that he would come home, because I was living in that fear as a child, thinking my dad was out in a war. So that's why I said, do kids count too? I know we don't eat, but we matter too. I just want you to know.
I definitely understand. My dad was in the Air Force for 30 years. And so when people are like, where are you from? My dad was in the Air Force, because we traveled all over. But I will say that about 3 years ago, I got this random friend request from this lady named Danielle. Danielle DeRocher. And I was like, I don't know that name. That name does not sound familiar. And so I sent her a message that said, I'm sorry, but I really only accept friend requests from people that I know I have some type of connection with. And your name doesn't sound familiar at all. And she was like, you don't remember me? You went to my gymnastics classes with me when we were in the 6th grade. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't just Danielle DeRocher. This is Danielle Cilio. And I'm like, oh my. So she is my only childhood friend. And we are friends to this. Now we're connected on Facebook and we talk. And I'm like, because we moved. I know where she went. We moved someplace else. And so we reconnected. Last time I had engagement with her, I was in the 6th grade. So we're talking, I was like 10, 11 years old. So it's been 50 years since I connected with her. And it just, it warmed my heart so much so. What did, you shared something in the group, Facebook event? What event is that?
Yeah. On Sunday at 4 Pacific, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, we're having a live stream from church at Woodlawn for Devotion to Veterans Day, supporting Project Die Hard. We combat veteran suicide by spreading hope to veterans. So it'll be a live program Sunday evening.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to stop. Oh Lord, how do I stop recording? The button's just not easily there anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay. So with that, thank you everyone for attending this month's Charitable Roundtable. Again, mark your calendars for December 13th at 11:30. Come on a little bit early for gathering conversation. Invite someone, share. You'll see it on my page, my Facebook page, as well as my LinkedIn page. You'll see it on Frank's pages. You'll see it on Brian's pages. You'll see it on Crystal's pages, because Crystal has joined the planning team. Yay! And so, and also, if any of you would like to be involved with planning of 2025, definitely reach out, because the more eyes, the better. And as in the Connected Networking group, we say we are all connected. Diversity is our strength, and we are better together. And so with that, I will say, have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy your wonderful weekend. Happy Veterans Day. And I look forward to seeing you next time.